Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. And you know what? For most of the day today, I thought that today was the last day in March. Apparently, there's another day in March, the 31st, that I just wasn't aware of for a lot of today. It really impacts nothing except for the fact that I was just momentarily a little bit confused. But almost the last day of March for today. And it is a beautiful day here in Chicago. Nice and sunny. It is a bit windy though. You know, I called it too soon. I thought about like, the big kind of like winter shift from winter to spring with like all the windy gustiness was like over for the most part. I was wrong. It's still very windy out there today. I tried to take the girls upstairs to the roof deck. They've been wanting to hang out on the roof deck. There's also like kind of an inside area over there, and they got new furniture there recently. So we've been hanging out up there just to get a little bit of change of pace from our kind of like four walls in here. And I thought maybe today would be warm enough for us to actually sit outside and kind of relax for a little bit. It was not warm enough. I mean, it was, but like the wind, it's so cold and it comes off the lake and it's a bit chilly. So hopefully soon, we'll be able to enjoy some more outside time. But how are you guys doing today? Everyone on the podcast, you guys doing all right? Hope you guys are having a good run. Hopefully it's not windy where you are. Or if it is windy where you are, hopefully it's just a tailwind both ways on your out and on your back for your run today. That's what I wish for all of you guys. That's my one wish for the world, that we only have tailwinds. I will listen to a lot of podcasts and they're like, a lot of podcasts like to end with like, if you could say one thing to runners, what would it be? Or like, I think from now on, I'm going to wish that everyone has tailwind both ways. Because it makes no sense, but it sounds nice. Or anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, not live, I'm glad to have you guys here too. Welcome. Today we're going to be playing some trivia, and to kind of commemorate the Evergiven, the Evergiven being freed from where it was, what do they call it? Like, it was stuck in a sandbar in the Suez Canal. Today's theme for the trivia is going to be the Suez Canal and the Evergiven. I guess it's like that whole situation. That's what the trivia is for. I was a big fan of all the memes that came out of it. I thought they were great. Just that one picture of like that crane trying to dig out this giant container vessel, which is absolutely amazing. My wife was telling me about it, and she was saying that there is a big concern about pirates because of everything that's happened. And, of course, my mind instantly goes to like Pirates of the Caribbean, like that kind of pirate, like our matey, like the Captain Long John Silver kind of pirate, and not like actual, like current modern day, like maritime pirates. So like that's where my mind went to, and I was like, piracy's on the increase. That's what I've been thinking about that a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of things like my mind, like I guess I do live by like a body of water. But like, and I did grow up on the Jersey Shore, but like, I'm just so far removed from like a lot of things maritime that like nautical things always kind of make me giggle just a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe that's wrong, but it does. All right, let's say hi to everyone who's here before we get started for today. Philip Bourne says, yo, what's going on? Beautiful 28 Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit today in Germany. Was a bit hot during the run, but survived entire 10K in zone 4 to 5. Ooh, that does sound hot. Great job. 82 degrees Fahrenheit in Germany sounds very hot. I'll admit that I've never been to Germany, and I'm not so familiar with what like this. It's like along the southern border. I don't know where you are exactly, Philip, but it sounds hot, especially for like April this time of year. So that must be unusual, maybe. Kiefer says he's holding out with them Asics. The Asics are good. It was fun. And, that was a lot of fun yesterday for those of you guys who were like up late. I guess for me, that was up late. Asics asked for the embargo lift time to be 9 or 10:30 p.m. Eastern time yesterday. And so that made it 9:30 p.m. for me, which is, pretty much like I'm in bed by then. I might be probably more often than not, I'm asleep by then, but I'd like to be at least like kind of like in bed winding down for the day then. But then, you want to help make sure that like the you want to make sure that the video kind of like launches correctly. And so like I was up for that and interacting with people on social for it. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Like everyone was kind of like really excited about seeing like all the different videos at once. And so I enjoyed that. That was entertaining. It was much needed too. For whatever reason, yesterday I was having like a low like self-esteem day on YouTube, like social media wise. So like it was good on a lot of different levels for me. All right, Inez says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Run with Emma and Pip after work today. Oh, right, nice. Always nice to get out running with Emma and Pip. Always liked running with her as well. That's cool. You got your own pack together now, you know. It's nice when I haven't run in a group in a really long time. And I'm definitely missing it. All right. Steve says, question 1 for today is going to be, how many minutes of shoe reviews have you watched about the A6 Metaspeed Sky? A is less than 15 minutes, B is 15 to 30 minutes, C is 30 to 45 minutes, D is over 45 minutes. Just love running shoes. For me, I think I've watched not including my own, I've watched 30 to 45 minutes of coverage of the Metaspeed Sky. I watched Doctors Are Running had a video, although, yeah, they did one on Metaspeed Sky as well. They did Metaspeed Sky, and they also had the Magic Speed. And then I watched Thomas and Megan. Ryan Clayton had one. I didn't get a chance to fully watch his yet, so that I still have in like my wish list. And then who else did I watch something else? I'm pretty sure I watched someone else. And then Brendan, I thought had a video today about it too. So like I still haven't got a chance to get that, but you know, I'm very excited. It's not often where like I've reviewed the shoe and made my video at like the same time as everyone else. So I usually have to wait, you know. So it was kind of fun. That was another thing that I really enjoyed about it. Kiefer says, when someone calls it the Kingslayer, pretty big endorsement. I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I have no idea. I was more lost than Megan in that part of that video that Believe in the Run did. I didn't know what he was talking about. Shoe Down says, G'day Kofuzis from Sydney. Great place to be. Flying for the first time since 2018 today. Training 11K. Fast trail video run yesterday and bonus wildlife. That's cool. Awesome. Well, hopefully you have some safe travels down there, Shoe Down. Awesome. Albert Lung says, hello, everyone. And let's see. Lee Joyce Chung says, hi, Kofuzi and everyone. What's going on? All right. Martha says, hi, everyone. She's watched 0 minutes so far of the Metaspeed. We had her teeth cleaned this morning and so haven't visited shoe reviews yet. Oh, okay. Nice. I still need to go to the dentist. Oh, bad news, good news situation. That reminds me. So bad news is we got a notification from our building yesterday that there is a positive COVID case in the building. And they talked about like all the measures they're going to do to kind of make sure that person can quarantine properly and you know, like not be like roaming the hallways and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm confident they're going to handle it well, but still scary. Like it's in the building. But good news is my wife got her first vaccination appointment scheduled for Thursday. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. She was one of those people that was like, yeah, I probably could go try and get a vaccine appointment scheduled, but you know, I'll let other people go first. And I was like, just go. It's your turn. Go. But she got an email from like her doctor, not like an individual email. I think like the doctor's office sent out, you know, emails to all their patients, I guessing based on whatever criteria they can do. And they emailed her, and so she was able to get it set up. So very excited about that. All right. Albert Long says, it's interesting how the Metaspeed Sky is geared towards stride runners, while Metaspeed Edge is geared towards cadence runners. I find that when I speed up on my runs, I increase cadence and stride. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, and that's one that I first thought of, but then I was like, I got like a little briefing on it, which was very, very cool. I don't usually get that from a shoe, but they went over like what they mean by that. And so like on the graphs that I showed in the video, they sent me like a copy of the graphs that they were using. Like everyone's cadence and stride increases. That's not like the key observation. The key observation is the relative change. So for the same amount of increase in cadence, the stride length changed much more for one group of people versus another. And that's how they determine people are in the stride category versus the cadence. So it's not everyone's cadence and stride increases, but it's the rate of, I guess it's if you were just kind of like do the change it if you were to like subtract the slopes or something. You know, the difference, how much it changes, is the key observation that's there. I don't know how people are supposed to identify in that, and I asked them about that, and they said an answer that I don't think I really understood, and I probably wasn't listening carefully enough because I think I was thinking about the magic speed as well. But yeah, so that's something that like I'm really interested to see more. They told me that there is going to be they do have some additional like independent studies. Yeah, you know, and I always take those kind of independent studies with like a grain of salt. Like when studies are like done at a certain university, but like commissioned by like a company, like how much there's a lot of potential bias in there as far as the science is concerned. But they're sending in like their shoes to like, I think to like investigate this concept of the stride runner versus the cadence runner a little bit further. So they're investing at least a little bit in this concept. But you know, we'll see where that goes. I'm interested to see that. All right. Martha says she got her Glycerin 19s today, but haven't had a chance to run on them yet. Stepped in comfort though. Definitely not mushy. Feels like a subtle roll design and supportive. Okay. Well, see, that's how I felt about the Glycerin 18, and I didn't love that one because I wanted it to be like a big, cushy, soft shoe. I don't know. I just want to run in Crocs, I guess. When I think about max cushion, that's kind of the feeling that I'm looking for. All right, Josh is here. Says, "What up, fam?" I don't know if you guys saw today, but Josh put out a video today where there's Josh and Evan are in the same video because Josh is in Colorado now, where Evan is. So I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing where we're seeing those two together, but you know, it's two solid mustaches in the same video, and I'm a big fan of that. Very cool. I'm glad you made it safe over there, Josh. All right. Terrence Huey says, I'm looking forward to that Saucony Axon. $100 for a softer, same stack, same power on foam as the Endorphin Shift. I saw that. I was watching a video. I'm not interested in that one at all for me. Just, I don't know, because it looks too much like the Shift for me, and I still have the Shift, and I still have all intents on running in it or just trying it a little bit more, but I'm still just so like, there's so much stuff to the Shift. So much like armor and reinforcements and just like things that it's trying to like make you do, you know, like trying to control your foot and stuff. You know, it just makes me a little bit nervous. I know some people loved it, but I didn't love it. But then I saw the Axon. I'm like, oh, it's just like the Shift, but with like all the stuff. So maybe I'd like it. But then I was looking at Road Trail Run. I was looking at Sam's video, and he was saying there's still quite a bit of like structure and support and like stuff in there. It's just not as like robust and like over the top as the Shift. But so like, I mean, if you like the Shift, then it could be something I think that people will like it. Which, I mean, I would imagine that's what they were going for. That's probably why it ends up like looking very similar too. You know, so I could see it, but I'm not so sure. I think it looks nice though. I do like the look of it, but I'm worried that there's gonna be so much stuff in there that I won't like it. All right. JC says, hey, everybody, no meta as of yet for me. I like it. I love it. Ozen Font Backstros is here, says, hi, all. And Leona says, hi, all. Kind of anxious after watching parts of the Chauvin trial and reading about more anti-Asian attacks. Need to go on another run. Yeah. You know, I find myself frequently like changing the channel when the Chauvin stuff comes on. I don't know what it is about it. I saw someone was like, I was reading on Twitter, someone had tweeted out something along the lines of like, you know, like they realize how important it is and what's going on in that trial, but they're just emotionally depleted about it. I don't know if I have anything left for it. I know I need to have more for it, but I don't know if I have anything for it right now. So I've been avoiding it. Although like as much as someone, I mean, I kind of have the news on all the time in the background. So like I'm still getting it, but I'm just kind of not, it's not my favorite right now. Yeah. All right. Albert says, I think Ko has the potential to be an action film director, an Asian Michael Bay. Action shots and the shoe reviews are so slick. Thanks. Thank you very much. I don't know if I could be an action film director, but I don't know. I like making shoe videos. That's pretty good for me. I like being a one person team. I think about like like what goes into even a video, like when Jamie makes a video, when there's a couple of people involved, or like when there's videos when there's like, multiple people that are filming involved together and just coordinating people. Like I was thinking about Billy Yang the other day and how he was making his video for like the Houston marathon. Because when I ran Houston, Billy was down there and actually met him right before the race. But he was there with a couple of other people, and he had like, was arranging with them where they were going to be and how they were going to be filming and stuff. Like I didn't hear that, but like, I met him and then we went our different ways, and I can hear him talking as he and his team were going the other way. And that's just a lot of coordination. I'm not good at that coordination. Maybe it's because I haven't really done it before. I haven't really experienced it, but it just seems uninteresting to me for some reason. So like, if it's something I can do myself, I like it. If it requires more, you know what I mean? I just feel like something that I realized very early on. I mean, I know this isn't where you were going, Albert, but like something I learned early on, like in business, was that like, there are some people that are really good at like being CEOs of big companies. There are some people that are really good at like, early stage, just like, this is a mom and pop business and we just opened our doors last week. There are some people that are good at like, growing the business from small to medium. I'm very much in like the, we just opened our doors last month and everyone's got to kind of do everything. I'm good at that. The rest of the stuff, not my specialty. And then I think also like the same thing applies for people that make videos too. There are some people that are good at certain kinds of sizes of jobs, and I know where I'm good at. I'm good at making little YouTube videos, but I also really enjoy that. I don't really have any aspirations to do anything bigger than that. Because I think like the natural progression is for a lot of people to be like, you make your little YouTube video, quote unquote, and then you get to make a bigger one, and then maybe you get invited to like make a race video for someone, and then you make a documentary and all that. I don't have a desire to go down that path that a lot of people have done. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that path. That's awesome for them, and I love supporting people that are doing that. But like, I don't have any desire to do that. I think I don't have any. I don't have anything else to say, I guess. But yeah, I don't, it's not, I mean, that's not it either. Just, I'm not interested in the extra level of work it will take. I like the initial making part, and then like all the polish and finish stuff, I'm just not as interested in. But I appreciate the compliment, Albert. Thank you. All right, let's get to some of these questions for today. Sorry if you guys have any thoughts on here. Yeah, Teddy Jordan. So this is a question I actually had too. Were there shoes on that boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal? Will we experience rising shoe prices? I don't know. I did find though that I was looking for that to see if it was going to affect like shoe delivery times at all. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's going to. I was like, I wonder if that's going to affect the Metasky release. But I couldn't find anything about shoes specifically, but I was able to find stuff that like a lot of like 80 containers on that boat were for IKEA. And so there's going to be like some supply disruption for IKEA furniture in the near future because of this thing. So like it hit, I mean, the thing was giant, and we'll talk about that in the in some of the questions for today. We got Brendan here. What's going on, Brendan? How are you? And we'll do one more question, and then we'll get to the trivia for today. Danny J says, any thoughts on the application of these design-specific shoes? Is the non-elite runner going to get similar benefit as an elite runner would? I don't know if I'm a Strider or a cadence guy. Yeah, Danny, I don't know if I'm a Strider or cadence guy either. That's something that I'm looking forward to more ASICS people kind of like talking about and like, giving that information to people in terms of how you're supposed to figure that out. I suspect that they're probably not really going to start talking about that a ton until they have a cadence shoe to give to people. In other words, the Metaspeed Edge, and that's not supposed to come out till June. So, I think it's kind of just going to get left out there like as it is for a little while longer, and then hopefully we'll get some more information later. But I mean, I think the question though about like, is the non-elite runner going to get a similar benefit as an elite runner would? I think the only thing that I can really refer back to, I mean, other than my personal experience, where I feel like for some shoes, like for example, like the Endorphin Pro, I don't think I'm getting as much out of that as a much faster runner. For example, like Seth or like Andy, people that are just putting out a lot more power than I am because of the way that the carbon is in that shoe. So there's certain shoes that are like that. But I think for the most part, for a vast majority of the carbon plated shoes that are out there, I think that what's great about them is that I do think that they work on a lot of levels of runners. I think at the edges, there's probably like, well, maybe at the very slow end, if you're taking a very long time, if you're doing a lot of time walking, then maybe not, except for the fact that like really cushioned shoes are definitely going to help. Maybe that carbon isn't having as much of a benefit. But I do think that at the elite level and also at the non-elite level, I think that they help. There's some people that are discussing the fact that like, their shoes intended for elites, but they think that the relative benefit may be greater for non-elite runners because there's just more margin for improvement. And so like that's another kind of like school of thought that's out there. I think that I get a benefit from these shoes. I think the bigger question is like, can I sustain that benefit over the duration of the race that I want to? And so, for example, like a shoe like the RC Elite, I feel like I can get a benefit out of that shoe, but I just can't sustain it over 26.2 miles. Same thing with like the original Carbon Rocket. Like it's a great shoe, but it's not a marathon shoe for me, and I can't take advantage of all those benefits for a marathon race because there's certain other things about it that I, as a non-elite, need. In other words, more cushion that an elite runner or pro runner like Steph Bruce, for example, doesn't need. So I mean that's kind of like, I think that's where some of like the differences lie. Not so much in like the kind of like the thesis of the shoe, but in some of like the kind of finishing touches or like the tailoring that like a pro might need versus what a non-elite person might need. So that's kind of where I feel on that. All right. First question for today. We're talking about the Suez Canal and the Ever Given. Glad that boat, ship, not a boat, ship, was able to be freed from where it was stuck along the sand. So first question for today is, when did the Suez Canal officially open? So we know that the Suez Canal, which I have to look up, not for this trivia, but when they're like the Suez Canal is blocked and all these trade routes are affected, I was like, where is the Suez Canal? So I had to look it up. It connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea, basically cutting across that part of Egypt, like the Mediterranean, like in the southeast corner there, so you could get basically avoid having to cut around Africa. When did it officially open? Let's see what we got here. Whoever, the people that normally answer 1796, this is a good time to do that. All right. We got some, 1492. There it is. It's not quite that old, but it was a lot older than I thought. So Josh coming in at 1912. It's a little bit older than that. Becerra says 1943. Ozenfant Backstros coming with it 1867. That's very close, at least to the answer I have. I mean, I might have mistyped it, but the number that I have is a little bit different than that, but that's very close. It's like when did it open? It opened at 8 a.m. That's funny. I meant for the first time. We got 1937 from Ryan, 1954 from Jay, Jeff Elliott, 1910. The answer that I have, secretly also very close at 1845. The answer that I have, Fantaflas Dopke says 1869. That's the answer I have. It's November 17th, 1869. Can you believe that? That's a long time ago. And the source that I have said that it was opened under the auspices of the Ottoman Empire. Now, I'm really bad at history. And I'm not sure when I thought the Ottoman Empire kind of like ended. But I didn't think it was still around in 1869. Right? But like 1869, when that Suez Canal was open. That's crazy. Isn't it? I don't know. Yeah. All right. Martha says I wrote 1816, but I got an extra digit repeating it. That's okay. I'll give you credit. All right. let's get on to the next one. Yeah, DJ Madib I was way off. Mark Saltzman came up in 1931. Yeah, I just had no idea. All right. Now, speaking of that, I mean, I don't think this number that I have doesn't, I don't think refers to the speed that you could go through it in 1869. So I'm thinking about, I think this means for today, like in today's terms, how long does it take to navigate through the Suez Canal? I had no idea it was this, it's a pretty big number. I had no idea. So how long does it take to get through it from one side to the other? Tony Vu helping me out saying World War I ended the Ottoman Empire. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Greg MD knew that. I just I never got into history very much. I usually like to blame it on my New Jersey public school education, but I think I just avoided it. I don't think it's the school. I don't think it was my school system's fault. I just never really liked it. All right. Let's see. How long does it take to get through? Yeah. Philip Bourne has the exact right answer. Oh, Stevie76 coming in with 2:59:59. Oh man, that would be awesome. Can you imagine if there were like a that would be like a Top Gear level of race, right? So imagine if the Suez Canal took 3 hours to get through, and then I was running a marathon at the same time, and they're like, who's going to finish first? That would be perfect. That would be perfect. That would be awesome. Like, there's got to be some sort of way that you can make it so someone has to like run across something, and then a boat has to go through the Suez Canal. And you both end at like the same point. See who can get there faster. That'd be fun. Josh says it's over 9,000. It's not quite that long, but it took a lot longer than I thought it would to get through the Suez Canal. It says swimming or in a boat. I'm assuming like a ship, like a container ship that was trying to get through there. Like how long would it take to get through there? As if there's an accident, it'll take 8 days. Oh, awesome. That's funny. Yeah. Jeff Light says it's 120 miles long. And Martha wants to know, are there ships ship time? But I don't know that they're ship time, but I think that everything's marked on GPS. I don't know where everyone was looking to see where all these boats were. All of a sudden, everyone had like super Garmin boat GPS and was like, man, look, there's a traffic jam over in the Suez Canal. I'm like, what tools are you guys using to look at that? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just on Google Maps or something, but how do you get something like in real time of knowing where all these boats are? I feel like if piracy is a concern, the general public being able to know where all these boats are, probably not a good thing. I don't know. Secretly says, I would have thought 1:59:59 is possible if the ship was named the Eliud Kipchoge. That'd be a great name for a ship, the Kipchoge. Kipchoge makes it through the Suez Canal in record time. Saying no container ship is limited. Yeah, Dr. Josh thinks the same thing. The Kipchoge would be a good name. Yeah. But the answer for that is it takes 12 to 16 hours to get through the Suez Canal. That seems like a really long time, right? To get through like a man-made maritime structure, don't you think? I mean, think about that. I mean, Jeff was saying it's 120 miles long. That's a long channel to get through. All right, so let's get to the next question. Question number 3. So when the Ever Given was in there, I mentioned earlier that the ships had to then like reroute and go around Africa to get to their ultimate destinations. When that canal was blocked, what famous South African landmark did the cargo ships have to navigate around? I think that this point also makes an appearance in one of Bo Miles' videos that he made, because he kayaked like around South Africa, like around the coast from like one side to the other. I think it was like a multi-video film. I think he had to do it too. But I remember I learned about, this is one of the things I do remember learning about in school. So we learned about it. I think we learned about it from, was it like we learned about Magellan? Do I remember Magellan? That was like a mapping company, wasn't it? I think we learned about that. Anyone remember that? What was that? What did they have to get around? Oh, you guys know that. See? Yeah. The one that I had in mind, Josh is the Cape of Batman. Nice. And let's see. Who had the best one? Elizabeth Sarah says Luxor. Let's see. I think the first one to have it was Greg MD, Cape of Good Hope. Yeah, that's the one that I had in mind. And it says that you find that all that live like GPS location of boats on marine traffic. You can waste hours on there. I think I'm gonna have to try to do. Although like I don't really, I don't need another thing that can waste hours of my time. But that sounds like something I would enjoy. You know what? I think I would also enjoy watching. Like, you know, when they watch, like they show in the news, like whenever there's like a giant storm coming through, they would show like where all the planes are and how they're getting like rerouted and diverted around like a giant like hurricane or something. I need to find out how they're doing that. I'd like to see that. That'd be kind of fun. Scott wants to know, has anyone registered for the virtual Boston? I have not. I'll be running Chicago, hopefully, in person that weekend. So like, I don't think I'll be in a position to do that. Yeah, Cape of Good Hope. I remember just thinking though about with the Cape of Good Hope that like they just told us that it was just like it was one of those like fake names. They called it the Cape of Good Hope, so that way it wouldn't terrify people to go around it. But it was just like this because of the way the different ocean currents were like colliding at that spot, just like this horrible place to be if you're a sailor. And I think about the Cape of Good Hope frequently because of the fact that right along the lakefront here in Chicago, there's a couple of points where like the water curves very artificially, like the way that some of these like kind of like inlets have been like kind of carved into the lakefront and like fortified with cement and like steel and all that stuff. Leads to some points where like when you round that corner, the wind just smacks you right in the face every time. And so like every time that happens, and like I'll round the corner, I'm like, this is where it gets windy, this is where it gets windy, and it's like boom, windy. I'm like, it's like the Cape of Good Hope, like Magellan trying to make it around the globe. So that's the weird nerdy stuff that I think about when I'm running a lot of the time. All right. Martha says Tierra del Fuego and Cape Horn is probably much worse, isn't it? I'm not sure. I've never been to South Africa, and I don't know about any of these things like in real life. I'd love to be able to witness them in some way on my own. And Shootdown says you got to look at flight radar if you want to look at planes. All right, I'm going to just look at flight radar and marine traffic. Those are the ones we're going to do. And Josh says, for air traffic, there are 4,000 planes in the sky at a time. That's just absolutely like unfathomable. It's crazy. You know what was weird is like my kids. So like one thing that I've noticed is like a lot of times when I'll be at parks and stuff in Chicago or at like the museums and stuff, you can always kind of tell when kids are and their families are tourists for a lot of reasons. But one way is like there's a lot of air traffic that you see in Chicago just when you're out and about. And a lot of times kids will be like, "Mommy, airplane." And like my kids are just like, yeah, there's going to be 7 more in the next 10 minutes, guys. But after having been in Iowa for a long time, and then even when we came back, there still wasn't like a ton of air travel going on. And so like when they saw a plane, they were like, "Daddy, look, an airplane." I'm like, "Yeah, you've grown up seeing them." But they're like, "But look, I can see one now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So it was a little bit of an adjustment, I think. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's go for the next one. Mark says, I listen to police scanners. Very cool. Yeah. I know that there's a lot of people that do that. I don't think I could do that. Not really. Karen says, I've offended tourists. Well, I mean, I love the tourists. I'm glad that they come to Chicago and spend money and are invigorating the local economy. And I love being a tourist in other places too. I always feel like a lot of people are embarrassed about being tourists. But like, I'm like, if you're a tourist, just embrace being a tourist. You're a tourist. I mean, there's a point of you don't want to stick out and be like a target from a safety perspective. But like, if you're, like people are like, you can't do that. That looks touristy. And I'm like, I'm a tourist, so I'm gonna do all those things. But the other way that I can definitely identify tourists, other than the fact that they don't talk like Chicagoans do, is along Michigan Avenue. There's a mall called the Water Tower Mall. It's basically a vertical mall because it's not super wide and giant. It's like 8 or 9 stories tall, and the elevators are all glass, and they're in the center of they're the stores are all along the perimeter, and the interior is hollow, and the elevator stack goes up the middle, and you can kind of see all around. And when you're in the elevator, people will go crazy, and it's usually like the tourists are like, "Mom, go look at that." And it's a very thick Southern accent. I don't want to tease a Southern accent, but a lot of times it's that, because I think Chicago is a very popular come with the family, do some Christmas shopping, go out for a long weekend before the winter holiday kind of thing. So that's another thing. The third way, other than elevators, airplanes, and revolving doors, people will go in the wrong way in revolving doors. Yeah, it happens. I mean, I can understand it, but it's also definitely dead giveaway. But you don't have to be a very far tourist for the revolving door thing. I see a lot of people that are coming in from just the suburbs that are just you can navigate the revolving door. Okay, that's all right. Just stick to the right. You'll be good. All right, next one. Shannon said, "What was the question?" Yeah, there's no question right now. I'm just rambling. Okay. AD coming in with some more trivia for us. Cape of Good Hope was named by the Dutch at the time of the East Indian Company for ships that were halfway between Amsterdam and Indonesia. Here they get fresh supplies, hence the name. Oh, okay. See, I thought it was more of one of those Greenland and Iceland kind of things as a way to entice people. But I guess if you were there, if that's your refueling station, that's got to be very nice. In college, a girl walked into the revolving door glass at the library because they were so clean. Must be a very clean library. All right, let's get to the next question here. All right, so speaking of going around the Cape of Good Hope and the detour from when the Suez Canal was blocked, how many miles of a detour is it? If you have to, instead of just going through the Suez Canal, you have to go all the way around Africa. This also I didn't know, and I was very surprised at the number. Jay Pelican says, "I'm learning so much today." I mean, it's rare, but I'm just so captivated by this Suez Canal story. That has been definitely capturing a lot of my attention, and a part of me is a little bit disappointed that it's now no longer a story. I mean, I'm glad there were animals that were affected by it, animals that were being shipped on some of these vessels. So I'm disheartened to hear about that. And I think a lot of people's packages were probably delayed too. So that's another thing. But it's just kind of funny. All right, let's see. Jay Pelican says 30,000 nautical miles. I don't know what a nautical mile is, so that very well could be right. I have no way of doing that kind of math myself. Jeff Elliott says it's 1,000, and it says it's a 2,000 mile detour. Jeff goes with 3, and Mark says 26.2. Nice. Look, we're just going up. 4,000 miles. Lucifer's are coming with 1493, but all these numbers are way lows, guys. Let's see, we got 21,000 by JC, getting closer there. Greg MD says 5,600, still a little bit low. And here we go, Phillips got it. 15,000 miles. It's a 15,000 mile detour. Man, how long does it take for a container vessel to go 15,000 miles? Because if that ship was stuck 8 days, are the people that went on the detour oh man, this is ended up taking us longer? I wonder. That I don't know. Huh. Yeah, exactly. Ozenfence. I wonder how many ships took the detour now. Keeping along, they're creeping along West Africa and thinking they're regretting it. I mean, it's basically the Maritime version of the opening scene to Office Space. which I think is a severely underrated movie. Are you guys familiar with Office Space? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got to be, definitely. I feel like the movie Office Space, kind of like people kind of forgot about it because of the show The Office, mainly like the American Office, not the British Office. But I feel like Office Space came first, and it's an amazing movie. I don't know. What was I talking about? How did I get on that? Oh, yeah, because of the traffic jam scene in the beginning. Amazing. Shannon wants to know, have you seen my stapler? Yeah. I was watching an interview with Peter. I forget his name, the actor that played Peter. And they were like, so do you have a red stapler? And I feel like when he answered the question, he was like, I know he felt like he hated. He's like, you could tell he's answered that question about 1,000 times. And he's like, you know what? After a while, I ended up getting a red stapler. So I do have a red stapler. And I will say, though, that swing line staplers are my favorite brand of stapler. They're good. They're very good. But I think at this point, though, like I'd rather just have a staple machine. Like just have like the ka-dunk, and you put it in there. I like that. I prefer that. As satisfying as it is to slam the stapler. I like that. Secure Elite says it is expected to take 10 days to clear the backlog, so those who went around may actually have saved some time. All right, well that makes sense. That makes sense too, because there's so many. I thought at one point there was like 140 boats, ships that were there. So that's got to be a lot. Here's what I was thinking though. I was thinking that and I guess we still won't know because it's going to take a while for that backlog to get through. Is like, what if another boat gets stuck, or what if because of all this, there's who's in charge? I guess there's an authority in charge of traffic control on the Mediterranean end of the Suez Canal, right? To say who gets to go when, kind of thing. But otherwise, I easily be dude, I got livestock on my ship. I'm going. And the other one's no, I got livestock on my ship. I could easily see can you imagine if following this ordeal with the Ever Given, that then there's another ship to ship collision? Can you imagine that? That'd be crazy. DJ Mud did say, I have a stapler, but I haven't used it in 3 years because I barely use paper now. Yeah, I don't really use paper either. My kids do for school, but that's it. I don't use any. This guy says, well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob. That's for sure. Yeah, I didn't really like going to work, so I just stopped. Paul Kane says, my dad served in the British Army during the Suez Crisis in 1952, and I visited to understand Egypt and been fascinated with all the history ever since. That's super cool, Paul. As much as I don't like history, two I guess subgenres of history that I particularly enjoyed are ancient Egyptian history and Roman history. So those are two that I enjoy a little bit more. But anything that's in modernity, just not that interesting to me. I don't know why. Cool though. All right, let's get to question number 5. All right, we all saw the images of the lone crane. I don't know what those are. These are called excavators. The crane that was trying to dig out that ship, and eventually it was that, and a lot of other. And then there's a sand dredging vessel, I think called the Mashur, that just dug out the sand from underneath it. But ultimately, it required a high tide and tugboats to dislodge this ship. How many tugboats did it take? Not really. Hank Aaron says, are you history phobic? No, but I just get sleepy very easily, and every time I read anything about history, I fall asleep. It just never. I like watching the History Channel. I liked watching the History Channel until it became everything's about can you imagine what they saw on this satellite? Those kinds of weird shows, right? History Channel got very weird over the last probably 5 to 10 years. But when I was in college, I did really enjoy the History Channel and those kind of documentaries. But reading about history always just really puts me to sleep. I can't find a way to make it come to life for me. What I'm really I think I need is like an audiobook version of history that I could listen to. I wouldn't mind that. If it was written by like an entertaining writer. But if anyone has recommendations, like European history, African history, that'd be great. I would take that. But like if I have to sit down and read it, I mean, I could sit down and read a book I want to read and I'll fall asleep too. So I think that's it. All right. So Benoit said it. What was the question again? I lost it. Oh, yeah. How many tugboats did it take? Let's see. 80 says 14. I think that's really close to the number I have. Benoit says 5. Secure Elite says 35. That's a little too many. Mark Chan Coco's 10. Nifty Ninja says 16. It's close. Josh says there were no tugboats. It was Captain Marvel. Yeah, that was pretty funny too. I started seeing a lot of the memes about like there was like, you know, people who were actually like tugging it away from the sandbar. I saw one of Eliud Kipchoge running and getting the boat dislodged. I saw another one of the American shot putter pulling on it, like in World's Strongest Man style, which I thought was pretty funny too. But yeah, Captain Marvel, I haven't heard that one before. Let's see, who has the exact number that I'm looking for? Shoot Down says it was a tug team. Yes, it was. Frank Hoover said it was all of them. Well, I would hope that it was all of the ones that they had available to them. But there's a specific number that I'm looking for. Frank says, audio versions of history college classes are good to run with. I might have to, I mean, that's probably like the nerdiest thing that I can think of doing, but I ain't scared. Maybe I'll have to do that. All right. The number that I'm looking for, let's see if I have it, is 13. So Lee Joyce Chung came in real close as well. Jay Pelican came in with 12. But the information that I have is that it was 13 tugboats. I guess 14 vessels total, because one was that Mashur, the dredging vessel that like kind of like pumped out all the sand from like the canal floor. But it was also 11 tugboats plus 2 larger tugboats, 2 sea-going tugboats, and then 11 other, I guess, canal caliber tugboats. So 13 tugboats in total. It's crazy. Leon Wong says, lucky 13. Martha, too. You guys are on the same wavelength. So there's no tugboats. It just went away. Like COVID. Oh, man. That's so funny. That's so funny. Recycle on Wednesday says, I didn't like history class in school because it was all like, when was this battle? Then I had a U.S. history class in college that taught concept analysis way better. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what I would really be looking for in terms of like the difference between like, you know, like reading like a physics book and then having like Neil deGrasse Tyson like explain a physics concept to you. I think like it would make it, like the delivery and the context is what I really would love to understand a little bit better. One of the like something that I wish I had a much better grasp on that I do not at all is like the relationship in the UK between like Wales, Scotland, England, Ireland, like just like the way that like these countries and regions are the way they are and what some of the historical context are. I wish I understood. I just don't. Yeah. So like all I know about these regions right now is from kind of what I've seen, like basically from walking like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and like the YouTubers, the running YouTubers that I watch. So that's like my extent of knowledge of the region. I've been to London once, but you know, it was over New Year. So we were there mostly to celebrate, not to really to engage too much into some tourism. I toured a castle with my running buddy, the same running buddy that I ran the tunnel marathon with. So we were there, like him and his wife, me, my wife. This was before any of us had kids. We traveled. It was nice. But yeah, so like those are the kinds of like contexts that I wish I understood. I don't particularly care too much about battles, but like, you know, I think that it would help to understand some of this stuff. Like I wish the news did like a little bit better of a job of that. When they reported like, you know, something happened today in Myanmar. Like I wish there was like, you know, for a 24-hour news channel, I think there's probably time to be like, and here's like the relevance of this. Let's do a little bit of history recap, but I understand 24-hour news cycles aren't about depth. They're about immediacy. So it's a little bit different. Yeah. Martha says there's a fun YouTube channel called History. What they ate in medieval times, everything you didn't know about court jesters, etc. And I'll see some of those. That sounds awesome. That sounds exactly like what I want. Although maybe not like exactly what I need, but also might like, help keep me interested a little bit more. I mean, oh yeah, Bert says I forgot Wales. I see. I thought I said Wales. I didn't say Wales. Because I'm thinking like I watched The Welsh Runner, and like so like that's how I like recognize things. So I'm like, so I know that's an area. I actually looked it up the other day to find out where it is. It's not where I thought it was. So I have the Welsh Runner to thank for that. So like I'm learning slowly. I guess I've been a little bit set in my ways, so I'm trying to expand a little bit. Mark says like history was the favorite in school. It's not the same now. They have the internet. So I just think maybe I didn't have. I don't want to blame my teachers, but like, I wasn't lucky to have a great history teacher. Let's put it that way. I think. All right, let's do one more question for the bonus round for today on the Suez Canal and the Ever Given, and then we can. And then I probably got to wrap it up today. Looking at the time, although I'm having a fantastic time chatting with you guys today. Bonus. All right. According to the Twitter account, I don't know who this person is, but someone that I follow locally in Chicago, someone that I'm friends with in Chicago, retweeted this. And so I thought this was an amazing fact. According to @Baniak, the Ever Given, and there's a typo in there, the Ever Given was 2 Chicago blocks long. How many Italian beef sandwiches is that? So how many Italian beef sandwiches long was the Ever Given? And Bickerton says the Welsh Runner lives in England. I know he does, but he talks funny. And so I looked up, I was like, oh, Welsh Runner, he's from Wales. So, that's where kind of like that happened. Yeah. So Luis Becerra's coming in close with, I don't know, I'm getting old in the eyes. I need commas in there. I think he has 1,493,000. Pretty close. Greg MD28, 2 sandwiches. Well, I do say the portions in Chicago are big. So it's not a bad guess, but it's a little bit more than 2 sandwiches long. You guys got to be in like Lewis's territory here. It's a lot. It's a big ship. Martha says 1492. Nice. All right. Jeffrey Chisnell's here. What's going on, Jeffrey? How are you? Good to see you again. Not really, Karen, just telling me everyone that I'm offending today. I've offended nerds, I'm offending history teachers, probably. But, I would like to think some of the history teachers that I had, that if I were to like talk to them today, if they're still around, they'd probably be like, you probably didn't get me in some of my best years. I don't think that it would be a stretch for them to admit that. I would like to think that they would do that. Yeah. All right. Let's see, how many sandwiches is it? It's a lot. Carlos Rivera says, is it a party size or footlongs? I mean, there's a pretty standard size for the Italian beef sandwich. It's like a hoagie size sandwich. I guess some are longer than others, and they cut the longer loaf in half. But that is a sandwich that I definitely need to do for a Monday mukbang at some time. Although, I'm not really eating beef, so like that'll be, I'll have to make an exception for that. Because the Italian beef is probably, I'm trying to think if there's other Chicago foods. Like most of the Chicago foods, I don't like the Chicago style hot dog. I don't like the Chicago style pizza. But the Italian beef sandwich is a delicious sandwich. I love it. And according to my source, I'll give you the answer now. The Ever Given was the equivalent of 800,532,700 Italian beef sandwiches. It's just an imaginary, ludicrous number. I actually don't know if that's an accurate measurement or not, because I'm sure you could do the math in terms of feet. So it might be the wrong number, but according to the tweet, that's what was listed. So yeah, we'll have to figure out a time that I can get an Al's beef. I'm an Al's beef fan. There's a couple of major ones, but you know, I like the Al's beef. It's a good one. And you do got to get it with Giardinera. Although I do think that most of the time people around here spell the Giardinera with a G, not with a J. I mean, I'm not from Chicago, so I can't say that's a rule, but yeah, I don't know. All right. DJ Madib says, so when I'm in Chicago for the marathon in October, what's the best place to snag an Italian beef sandwich? Oh, go to Al's. There's an Al's beef. I think there used to be one in River North. I don't know if it's still there. There's a couple in the River North area. I think there's one in the Loop. I think there's one in the Loop. There's one by where my law school was, right across the street from the law school, very conveniently. So it's a chain. Well, it's a chain now. So go with the Al's beef. That's the ones that I like. But you can get them in a lot of places, but that's a good one. This was with mayonnaise. There's no mayonnaise in Italian beef. It's kind of like a French roast. It's like what do they call it? French dip? Roast beef? French dip. You got to get it dipped. Dunk the sandwich in the juice. It's good. It's good. Yeah, Benoit says, the ever given as long as the Eiffel Tower is tall, so it's pretty big. Yeah, they would say, people here have been saying that it's taller than the Empire State Building as well. So like, yeah, it's a lot. Ted Marie says, mustard or ketchup? Neither on an Italian beef. I like it with Giardinera. I like it with peppers. It's good. It's a good sandwich. And I definitely like mine dipped. All right. Not really Hank Aaron likes Papa Chris and Niles. I never tried that. All right. All right. I think that's a good place to end it for today. Thanks, everybody, for indulging me in the Suez Canal Ever Given trivia for today. I know it was real weird. It has definitely spotlighted to me that I am woefully undereducated when it comes to history. So I got some work I got to do. Yeah. So I'll have to figure that out. I got some resources from you guys. So thanks for that I'll check out. And maybe I can, make history fun for me. So maybe there'll be more history trivia coming up if you guys like it. It seems like you guys like that. I think you guys liked it. So maybe we'll have more history trivia. All right. Tomorrow's video is going to be about another workout video, but instead of a workout, it's just for an easy run. So talk about kind of like what my data looks like for an easy run. So that's tomorrow's video. And then we'll do another live stream, same time as today. No theme for tomorrow, just hanging out. 3 p.m. Central Time, same as today. Hopefully I'll see you guys again. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.